Hello, ActiveSage here on the Sage channel. It's Sleep, Art, Game, and Eat. And today I'm going to be showing you this thing here, which is actually a holder of sorts to hold objects in place. Sort of like the gravity containers I made in the past, except for this one can hold stuff far away from it. So really quickly, to explain it, I'll go ahead and pop up this insanely confusing mesh of different gravity fields. And the basic gist of it is I have two gravity generators right here on the front, this one and that one, and one of them is pushing away and one of them is pulling towards, and the one that is pulling towards has a slightly farther reach than the one that's pushing away. So this pushing away one is actually set to a power of 1, whereas this pulling towards one is only at 0.5. So if you look at our gravity here, the one that's pushing away, half of its power is being eaten away by the one that's pulling it back towards the station, giving this a power of 0.5 gravities, pushing it out this way, and then once it gets to here, of course, it's not affected by the one pulling it back, so we end up only with the 0.5, meaning anything I place here will theoretically stay here. It'll sort of get pulled down, it'll hit this point here, and then bounce back up, and semi-stabilize. And the ones on the side here are very, very simple. They're just gravity fields set to push inward, so if they fly into that, they'll be pulled downwards and back towards the center area to prevent anything in this sort of rectangular, or actually square but flat area from being basically flung out, pushed away, or pushed, I guess, those ways, up, down, left, right. And if we were to fly over to this machine, you can see all the gravity generators that we have set up for actually doing that and making sure they don't fly away. Like this one here, this one on the bottom, and then if we were to actually get inside, there's one right there. You can see the Phantom, which is, I believe, their collision volume or something of that sort that is being displayed through it. So anyway, let's fly inside, and actually before I do that, I need to set up something to be held in place. So let's go ahead and do that. And what I have to do that is this little thing over here. It's very, very simple. It's basically one of these artificial masses with a power generator stuck to it. So if I was to fly over here and go ahead and place one of those right here, it'll instantly get pulled down and then pushed back, and it'll sort of semi-stabilize. It ends up bouncing forever. It's almost like a object in water in most games, where they sort of bounce strangely. And I actually go ahead and turn off that UI, so you see it's just pretty strangely bouncing nowhere. And really quickly, let's actually go ahead and turn that UI back on. That way I can tell where I'm posting these. I don't post them too far away. And let's just start posting a fair few more, shall we? It's at this point I'd like to apologize for saying posting 20 billion times instead of pasting. Anyway, back to the video. And now that I know where to post them, we'll turn this back off. That way you can see the joy of them just randomly being tossed to my left as I post them down. So here we go, and slowly this will actually fill up that volume there of, well, basically that volume where stuff is held in place, basically. So let's just keep posting a bunch of these, please. Nope, there was a small explosion. That means it's getting about full up. It doesn't matter if a few of these break, as long as the volume gets filled up pretty heavily, we should end up with, well, basically what a lot of people are asking me to build, which is a shield. Because a lot of people are, after these things were first added, saying, hey, could you make a shield that would hold these in place like the big gravity blanket and protect any station? Of course, these are very, 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 well, they're endangered. Anything hits the power generators and they'll be destroyed instantly. But overall, I think, even though it's not very useful, it's still pretty damn awesome. Let's just put a few more in here really quickly. It looks like it's about level. And actually, if I keep putting them in here, it'll even start to double up the layer. And so there we go. Now we basically have, well, what amounts to... so it's almost like a water volume now, where they're all rippling up and down. It's pretty damn awesome, actually. And in truth, I could try to stand on here, and you can actually almost walk around on here. It's a strange experience as the whole world is shaking up and down. You could imagine it's like a doomsday earthquake or something. Anyway, let's go ahead and now move the ship, now that we have these all floating here in this strange collection. And you see a lot of sparks and stuff. I'm sure over time some of them will actually destroy themselves, but luckily their pieces should just float away freely. So now let's go ahead, hop inside this ship. Pretty simple ship inside. Nothing special really at all in here. As you can see, we just got a bunch of reactors and gyroscopes stuck to the sides, and then those other gravity generators I was pointing out from the outside. And let's hop in here. A beautiful, beautiful view through the window. I love looking through these large windows. And now let's go ahead in the third person, and if we were to turn on once again our gravitational fields, you can see now they are all sort of contained in there. And that farthest field could actually be brought in some more, but I keep it that far out just in case something bounces really high. Hopefully it'll get caught and pulled back in. So now that we see how it's held, let's go ahead and actually move it, shall we? So as we move, once again, it's almost like a water simulation where they're all being crunched up against the bottom. When I stop, they flung up to the top and now bounce back down to the bottom. It's pretty dang awesome, and of course I can keep moving it and tossing it about just as if it's something. It's just like it's a bunch of water in a bucket. And you see there, it went too far, and unlike water in a bucket, these, when they get free, instead of them bouncing out of the bucket, they go through the walls of the bucket, because of course if they go too far, they'll break free of one of those gravity barriers. And now you see there's this terrible bounce of them going back and forth, and if I turn to my right, as they're fleeing to the right, they'll actually counter it out and slow them down a wee bit. Let's actually zoom in again so we can see them a bit better. And it's pretty awesome. Now, of course, if I go forward, they're all being pushed forward. But if I stop, they're going to get flung forward, I suspect. Oh, looks like they're actually not getting flung forward that far. That's very good. That's very, very good. So if we keep going forward, actually, they stay in place pretty good. You can see even though our speed is increasing, they're still sat right there. Now, if I turn, they're going to keep wanting to go in the same direction we were just going. So they end up with a bit of a cluster. And if I turn like this, which is to my left and down a bit, you can see they get squished slightly into the corner there. It's actually pretty dang awesome. And I'm amazed. Ooh! Oh, no, 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 no. We're going to lose them, I think. Okay. Wow, that's, wobble, 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 wobble. Pretty strange. A lot of sparks, too. Okay, that was silly. Why did I do that? Yeah, it's pretty dang awesome fiddling with these. And, of course, they're just floating there in space. Yeah, the things you can deal with this, eh? Now, I'm just going to sit here for a second. I did try a few other designs with this. Basically, I took large metal planes and stuck gravity generators sort of at what would be the corner points of the volume that we've created there that holds these in place. And hoping that basically they try to go up, down, left, right, they'd bounce back into the center, but of course, once they did that, they'd push the other side of the large metal plate, which has another artificial mass, and that one would push back, and it'd sort of just lock it in place. This did not work according to plan. To properly do this, I'd probably need to make a very, very small controlled volume around each cube. And that might work at holding the huge plane in place, but using the machine I have set up right now, well, as you can see, stuff just kept going wrong. I tried bunches and bunches of different designs and stuff, and all are relatively the same, but all of them just went wrong. Even though it was slightly interesting, and it didn't work as well as this. So, you wouldn't think it, but, you know, this silly cacophony of sparking machines is actually more stable than just a simple flat plane. But of course, I bet you if we shot a single bullet at this, it would instantly just start causing trouble. In a way, I guess you could use these as shields some, but it's pretty expensive to think that you'd have to have all those reactors floating there. I don't know, in a world with infinite resources, you could see setting up a huge ship with these just all over it and having some insane fun with it. I think I've just lost most of the flock. No, I haven't. There we go. Just lost a few. Actually, it looks like those are just severed reactors and stuff floating away. But, yeah, you could see, you know, infinite resources having some insanity with this. It's, pretty damn awesome, though. And, yep. And of course, these aren't actually slowing down the ship as I push them along, so you could use something similar to this to move something very, very heavy with relative ease, without actually slowing down the acceleration of your ship. It's pretty damn weird. Anyway, let's, as a finishing note, just go ahead and toss everything out into space. Nice, pretty zoom out there. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. It's a 1, it's a 2, and it's 3. Yeah, not exactly ideal, but at least it patched the hole.